and welcome back to Seaside Garage. Finally, it happened at long last. This car, well, maybe not this exact model, but the Trabant has been a car that I have been wanting to own for so many years. There's so many reasons for that. The main reason is, as some of you might know, I'm very interested in old cars and mopeds. This is a bit of a combination of those two because of the engine. And another thing is that this is an Eastern Bloc car, and I have a thing for Eastern Bloc stuff in general, and very much in this actually. I actually bought another project which is right outside the garage door. I'm not going to reveal what that is yet. That was supposed to come to my garage last week, but unfortunately the driver got ill, so it was postponed to this weekend, yesterday actually. So while waiting for that car to arrive, I got a bit restless, and I went on Facebook Marketplace, which is a very dangerous thing, especially when you just sold your Panda and got some money to play with. So yeah, suddenly this car was on its way to my garage, and I was so happy about that. I bought this car locally on my island of Fyn. I bought it off a guy who is very known in the Trabant world in Denmark. He told me that this car it's rough, of course, but it shouldn't really need any rust work. It's primarily interior-wise, and of course engine needs to be serviced, and the brakes are not breaking at least. So there's a lot of work to be done, but not rust work. And that, I think, is a good thing, because the other project that is outside the garage door, I haven't even really looked at it yet, but I know it's going to be needing a lot of welding. I hope I'm up to the task, but anyway, this should be an easy project, but let's see. So the Trabant was a very, very basic car from the Eastern Bloc. It is built by very simple materials. The engine is known to have very few moving parts. I think it's, I don't know, 3 or 4 moving parts in the engine. It's very basic engine. It is supposed to be easy to work on for the owner and easy to maintain. And of course, because of communism, there wasn't pretty much any competition on the market. So this was pretty much what you could get. There was the Trabant, and then there was the Wartburg and Barkas and some other cars, but the Trabant is the most well-known and the most common car from that period. The model that I got is a P60. It's a bit less known model than the 601, which you most likely think of when thinking of a Trabant, but the first Trabant I think was the P50, and then this came, which is pretty much a transition model between the P50 and the 601. This got the same engine, I think, pretty much. Maybe there is a bit difference in the conrod bearing, I think, but other than that, it's pretty much the same as the later model 601. But the styling of this car is a bit more, yeah, it's a bit weird coming from an Eastern Bloc country, but the best way to describe the design, in my opinion, is a tiny American car, pretty much, because it got all the chrome bits, it got the wings on the rear, and it's just a really weird design, really. And then, of course, as they are very well known of, this model is made of Duraplast, the fiberglass kind of material they build the cars in. So a lot of people think they can't rust because of this. That is not true. There is a lot of metal in this car as well. This is just the outer skin. So that won't rust, of course. I think it can get osmosis like boats and stuff, but it doesn't rust out here at least. And I don't think I'm going to talk much more about the story or the engine or stuff like that in this car just yet, because even though I have been reading a lot about Trabants in the past, I'm not really sure on anything. It's a new car for me. This is what I really love about my hobby, getting something new in, getting to learn how it works and what makes it tick, and then grasping it, really. But what I want to do in this video is to show you the car, also pretty much show myself the car. I bought it sight unseen, I really like to do that, to be honest, because finding something on Marketplace and looking at the pictures, talking to the owner, and then just getting the car delivered is so exciting for me, because you never know what you get. Maybe you have bought a really good product, maybe you bought a lemon, you don't know. Of course, it's not the best way to do stuff financially, but it's just a lot of fun. And also that makes you guys a big part of the journey when I'm trying to revive these cars, because you're going to know pretty much as I do, and that is fun. But let's take a look at the car, and before that, let's take a look at some papers, because there is something really interesting right here. The Deutsche Demokratische Republik Kraftversuchbrief für Kraftwagen. And my German is really bad, so I most likely haven't pronounced that right. But this is the papers from DDR. This describes all the owners from the past, even what they did, actually. There's a soldier right here and an electrician right here, and this papers is really a historical piece of paper. Here are some details on the engine. The engine is a two-stroke, as I told you. It is apparently built on Barkas Motor Factory, Karl Marx Start. I didn't know that Barkas made those. I thought it was Sachsenring. That's the chassis apparently is built on Sachsenring automobile plant, but the engine is made at Barkas. I didn't know that. That could be completely normal, but I did not know that. Here we have the engine number. It's going to be interesting to find out if it's still the original engine, because as you saw earlier, this car has had a lot of owners, and I don't think they are so long-lived, those engines, at least not without a rebuild. I know that the crankshaft can be a bit iffy. But here we have, it's a 594.5 cc engine delivering 23 horsepower. Oh, at a 3,900 rounds per minute, 2 cylinders, and the volt system is 6 volt, and the amps are 56. Just some nice small details about it. This paper is really, it's not really worth anything, but it's worth a lot to me, because it's just so interesting to see all these stamps and just the story. And also right now this car is a bit of a joke, comparing it to modern day cars, of course, but back then in '63, when this car came out, this was a game changer for some families. This was just, yeah, such an important item that is now just a fun piece of engineering. Let's take a tour of the interior of this car. This is a spot on this car that it is slightly rough. You can see there is a lot of water damage, especially at the rear. It's not looking very nice. I think maybe it's down to the seal back here being leaky, maybe. But it needs some work inside of here, that's for sure. There are no carpets in the car. There should be, but it has been removed, most likely rotted out. So I will need to do something about that. Find something material that I can make a carpet out of. Then there is the, I think the original fire extinguisher. Handled with care. Yes, Germany, DDR. It most likely is no longer working. Working on old cars like these, especially from the Eastern Bloc, you should be a bit careful about the materials. I'm expecting asbestos in the brakes and so on. Then we have what looks like a children musical device. But these are the buttons for different stuff. I'm not really sure what. If you want light on only one side, light on both sides. High beam maybe. This one is completely gone. I can't see what that is. And this, I don't know what that is. Maybe brake check? No, of course it's the wiper. It's the wiper mechanism. All right. This I don't know what is. I don't even know if it's a button or something you can... I don't know. I haven't found the... I still haven't found the horn for the car. So this could be maybe the horn. I don't know. Then we have the key, of course. Normal pedal layout, like a normal car. This down here, I think, is the heater controls. Over here we have a choke. This little lever right there is the gear selector. Unfortunately, my car does not have the little sticker showing where the gears are, so I'm having a struggle to find gears at the moment. It's very difficult. It's not difficult to find the gears, it's just difficult to know what kind of gear or what gear you have selected. So I'll have to find something out about that. Apparently this is a bit rare because of the speedometer, because it's square. Normally they are round, so I think that's a bit rare on this model. On the other side of the car, we have not much really. We have a glove box that is not really a perfect glove box. I suspect I'm missing something here. The door also needs missing the door mechanism and the winder. So I'm going to have to try to find those. I don't know what this is. Maybe just a plate. Yeah, there's nothing inside there. Up here is a ashtray. And then the roof is also Duroplast, the metal frame. So but yeah, it's a rough interior for sure. But this is just going to be a small fun car. I don't think I'm going to make this a daily. So let's take a look at the exterior of the car. It seems, especially on pictures, it looks pretty in a pretty good condition, but when you get closer, things are not so great. This is Duroplast, but the rusty bits coming through must be from the frame underneath. So some rust is there, of course. The trunk is opened by this little flap in here. Like that. And then we have this tidy, very cute tailgate. And as I told you before, a bit of an American style design with these wingy bits for the rear lights. They're pretty cool, I think. There we have the trunk. No, there is no gas struts or anything. There is just a metal bar right there that you can fit into this hole right there to keep it up. Oh, great news! Here we have at least some of the parts for the door. That's great. That's really great. This is just a cute little car, isn't it? I love how the Trabants are having the wheels slightly inwards, having a extreme form for camber. And I think it's a car that is capable of rolling in a tight bend. Oh, and by the way, take a look at this. That is awesome. A trailer hitch. Woo! Yep. Like that. And then we have this bar down there that I would normally use my hand to push on, but I have the camera in my hand at the moment, so it's going to be a foot job. Like that. And then this little, very simple device holds up the hood, of course. And this is the theme of this car. Everything is simple. I actually changed the fuel line when the car arrived because it was leaking, but it is still leaking. That makes me realize that I forgot to show you something. Because right down here is the fuel valve, just like on a moped. Closed, open and reserve. And it's important to remember to close it so it doesn't flood the engine. But I will have to do something about that really quickly. I think it's actually leaking from the connection, so I just have to tighten it up. But as you can see, that's the fuel tank. That is very close to a very hot engine. So it is a fire hazard to have the system like this. Maybe that's the reason for the fire extinguisher mounted in the car from factory. But everything is very basic and very simple in here. If you need to check out how much fuel you have left, you do not have any gauge in the car. You just open up here, and then up there is a stick with markings on it to show you how much you have left. Then you have 2 spark plugs, or 2 cylinders, of course, 2-stroke engine, and then a very tiny, small gearbox mounted to the engine. A very big starter, actually, compared to how small everything is. Oh well, we're going to take a closer look at all that later on. This is going to be an awesome project. So this is the latest project on the channel. I have another one waiting outside. I'm going to reveal that another day. As always, I made a little quiz about what kind of cars I bought. And once again, you all pretty much guessed it right away. You are really a nerdy bunch of people. I like that. A lot of you guessed on the Trabant, and I know I have talked about Trabants a lot also. So yeah, if you like the Trabant, I will strongly suggest that you check out Aging Wheels. It's a guy from the States who owns a Trabant, which is extremely rare, I think. It's fun to see him work on it. It must be such an exotic car over there. It's not really back here. It is rare, but not that rare. Actually, I was told by the guy I bought it from that in Germany, there are more Trabants registered on the road than there are Teslas. I really don't know if that's true, but I really think it's a really fun fact if it is. Anyway, thank you for watching. Remember, you can support me on Patreon if you like. Hit the subscribe button if you want to follow this and many other projects. And see you in the next one. Let's reveal the other project as well. Nope.